would recommend you just go with the usual congratulations as we get into the first match, or the first match after the break, where it's going to be the Quest Rogue up against the Odd Hunter. And this is one of the main reasons why Staz, I believe, is going for this Odd Hunter, as I think people were starting to realize as the meta evolved a little bit right from the beginning of the Witchwood, the Odd Hunter is not quite at the power level people were expecting. It's not that good. Like, it was looking to be fairly dominant at the start when everyone was playing these very unoptimized lists. People didn't really know how to build the perfect lineups. It was just farming all the Shudderwock Shaman, at least, on ladder on the first day. But now in a tournament, it starts to make a little bit more sense if you are expecting lots of Q-Block and lots of Quest Rogue, which in this tournament is not a bad prediction. There has been a fair amount knocking around.
So, what do you think of this matchup? Obviously, we're talking Quest Rogue versus a very aggressive deck.
Yes.
Is it as mind-bogglingly favored for the Hunter as it seems, or does the Quest Rogue maybe have a shot in this one?
It absolutely does. Like, as the Quest Rogue, if you complete the quest quickly, you can quite happily race a Face Hunter. Like, as long as they don't get a truly absurd starting hand, you can be in a decent spot to catch up. But like you say, it's not quite as unfavored, it's not quite as polarized of a matchup for the Quest Rogue as it is against the control decks, where the Quest Rogue is nigh on unbeatable as a control mage or control warrior. As the face Odd Hunter, usually, obviously, you are going to be getting there against the Quest Rogue, but there's some tricks you can pull with Vicious Scalehide.
Vicious Scalehide is a very tricky minion. Obviously, there are things you can do with it with Sonya to just get multiple little heals.
Right.
And when the quest is complete, you can use it to heal in chunks of 5. We see katsucurry not even bothering to play the quest at all. What do you think of that?
So this is a very common play against aggro. Generally, the main reason you're not playing quest on 1 when you're going for the coin is because you want to dagger, because you want to take out a 1 health minion, which is a very common play. But when you are frozen by the Glacial Shard, obviously that's not a possibility. Yep. But I do like going for this line of play because I think generally you are going to end up not ahead on board after that play, but even. And that's perfectly good enough. As long as you are at least even on board and then you have a card like Novice Engineer in hand. Like, this hand says you need more time. When you've got Novice Engineer, Scalehide, you need to complete the quest with maybe a Novice Engineer, which takes a lot of time. So making the strongest board play as quick as you can to protect your health total is usually the right play.
Unfortunately, though, Katsu hasn't really managed to stabilize his position on the board just yet, or rather, Candleshot has prevented katsucurry from stabilizing his position on the board, and now Staz can do I was going to say Staz can do Sottle's favorite thing and Wolf Rider some kids.
No, I believe this is going to be 3-mana hero.
But that's Sottle's other favorite thing, like
right,
Benoming some kids.
Indeed. But like you said, katsucurry has not stabilized the board here. But think how much worse this position would be if he'd gone for quest on 1. Like, it would have been unsalvageable already. This shows the power of going for these slightly more board-centric plays, as now, you know, he's got a Vicious Scalehide on board, very possibly going to be healing up for 2 and getting him a little bit of board control. It's sometimes worth considering in some of the matchups, like against Paladin, maybe against a Tempo Mage, saving back the Vicious Scalehide either to try and complete the quest with, or saving it for once you have completed the quest to gain a whole bunch of extra health. But
This
I think in
created
this
an awkward
scenario,
position, though, for Staz, right?
Right.
Like, does he trade a Wolf Rider in? No. Does he wait, leave it there, let him heal over time and bounce it back?
Yeah, I think I like fitting in the hero power as much as possible, though, because, like you said, the Vicious Scalehide does get to sit around for another turn and get 1 extra health, but potentially sticking a Wolf Rider on board is so much more important.
Of course.
But as we can see here, katsucurry has kind of got board control for the moment. It's definitely how it looks. After this Dire Mole is cleared up, which obviously is not available right now, but it's not doing too much damage, he could be in a decent position if he's able to find those key cards like Vicious Scalehide. But I guess one thing to add to, as an addendum to what I was saying at the start of this game, is when I play Quest Rogue on ladder, I'm playing Wax Elementals. That feels pretty core to me, if I'm perfectly honest. Right. Especially on ladder when you can face so many aggressive decks. This is not in the list for katsucurry. He has omitted Wax Elemental in favor of Igneous Elemental and the Firefly package, which obviously gives you more consistency with completing your quest, but I think is not worth it, because Wax Elemental is so good against aggro, and once you've completed the quest, it's good against everything. Like, it's just a strong card.
katsucurry seems to be just jamming all of his tools out right now. I actually was wondering if he'd go for the Glacial Shard, freeze the face, and not trade in the Scale Hide, just to continue to make these trades with the Lifesteal minion a little bit awkward. This works too, though. Obviously, it means that the Scale Hide will continue to get value over time. And Staz still doesn't have any surefire way of controlling this board unless he's willing to put a lot of damage into this Youthful Brewmaster.
Yeah, I feel like for katsucurry, in like the kind of trifecta of things he has to worry about at the moment, this is the most reasonable play of all of them, because obviously the 3 metrics he's worried about are life total, board control, and quest completion. And so bouncing the Vicious Scale Hide here gives him the potential to complete the quest with it, which is obviously very important. He has to start bouncing minions at some point. It gives him as much kind of health gain as he can get, because it gets it back to full health once you play it again. And it's not bad for board control. I mean, obviously, the Youthful Brewmaster is an anti-tempo card. It does not develop your board state very much at all for a 2-mana card, but it was good enough here. You're only losing a 1-1 and you're getting a 3-2. It's starting to move towards katsucurry locking down board control.
Now that Glacial Shard is looking like it will serve some purpose here, even if it's just preventing that 3 Eaglehorn bow damage every single turn. Another Shadow Step, however, is going to be very useful. If katsucurry wants to, he can heal for another 2 with the Scale Hide and freeze the face, meaning that Staz maybe can't deal with it.
And this is another really interesting point from Staz, because obviously Vicious Scale Hide, as we keep mentioning, is a very powerful heal mechanic in the Quest Rogue deck. But it's only a heal mechanic when your opponent has minions on board, because this is a rush minion, not a charge minion. It can only attack minions on the turn it's played. And so if Staz there had elected to attack in with the Diamol and the Candle Shot into the Youthful Brewmaster, there would not have been the ability for katsucurry to heal up with the Scale Hide that Staz knows is in hand. But whether or not that's worth it is obviously the next level in the discussion, as if you are sinking 2 damage into a Panda when your opponent is very likely only healing 1 damage with the Scale Hide, it gets a little bit more complicated.
I really do like this play.
Yes, agreed.
The player describes winning. And I assume the Glacial Shard does follow. Yeah.
Yeah, nice and easy.
Because now really the only good-ish card that Staz has in his deck to deal with this is Unleash the Hounds. And even then, just putting 2 Hounds into the Scale Hide?
You just don't deal with this. Like, you just slam everything to face. Like, this is you don't try and win board control. Like, when Quest Rogue wins board control, you just give up. Like, you are winning through face damage at this point, which is kind of your primary win condition anyway. So nothing's really changed here for Staz. And this is perfect. You have got your opponent down to what, 6 health here, which is lethal unless they can find a heal effect or a freeze effect on the following turn. Yeah, this is looking very nice.
Scale Hide will heal for 1 more. Now it can go face. The minions on the board can deal with the minions that Staz has on the board. However, there's still the Wolf Rider in hand, and it doesn't look to me like there's anything katsucurry can do to prevent it from killing him.
And this is the downside of bringing Quest Rogue to a tournament. You will very often be finding scenarios like this. And while so far in the tournament it hasn't let down too many players, I believe Shipping Order got a 3-0 against a Quest Rogue with his full aggro lineup. I don't exactly remember the player that he eliminated with that, sadly. But it was working very well for him that his opponent brought a Quest Rogue. And for katsucurry, it's obviously looking very bad for him. And this is just the legacy of Staz winning the mirror right at the start. He does not have to go through this embarrassment.
Just look at this situation, though. Any bouncer would have allowed katsucurry to live for 1 more turn, freezing the face so that the Wolf Rider and the Hero Power only deal 6, the Scale Hide's healing into 7. And then, you know, maybe that would have been the turn he needed to complete the quest, get the Scale Hide into a 5/5. But unfortunately for katsucurry, none of this is enough, and he will very soon find out that he is 1 more loss away from being eliminated from this tournament.
Does certainly appear that way. And Staz put himself in a reasonable position, but like we predicted just after the break, I still believe this is going to come down to a Warlock mirror, depending on whether katsucurry wants to get it over with quickly or put himself up to the 2-game each position, because the Quest Rogue, its last remaining matchup that it has to face up against from Staz is the Cubeler, which is one of the best matchups for Quest Rogue. It's obviously not quite